everyone? Before the video begins, just want to point out once again, t-shirts are available over on the website. It's the surplus of tour merch that I had, so get them while you can. Link is in the description, as well as these t-shirts, which can be signed if you want them, by the way. There are also signed prints on the website as well. Also, these do run out. There's not too many of these, especially this one, I don't think. So yes, please consider going down below and checking out the link to the website. Pick up some awesome Monroe and Jake Monroe merch today. And if you're not a merchy kind of person, please consider joining up to the Patreon. For $1, you get your name at the end of the video. For $1. $5, you get discount codes to my merch store. We've got the $10 one there, which is early access to all of my covers and all of my vlog music, including some unreleased covers as well. You can go check it out. And there's also backlogged audiobooks on there that you get a lot. You get a lot on the $10 tier. And then on the $25 tier, I actually read your name out at the end of videos, which is very easy for me to redeem. So there's no chance of me messing that up. So yes, please consider going over to the Patreon and supporting me today. Deeply appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much. So let's move on with the goth content, I guess. Vampire goth. Oh my god. Can we all just pay attention to the username here as well? Play the clip, Jake. Play the clip. I mean, goths always choose the most creative names. Goth, moth, raven, obsidian, teeth. Boom! Vampire goth. What the hell is that? Vampire goth, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever the hell that is.
I drink your blood, and I eat your skin.
I think we've gotten mixed up here between Gothic and vampires and all that stuff, and goths. I do know that they tend to overlap, okay? There's definitely like this ambiguity between the two things. You can definitely adopt it and add it to your aesthetic, but like they're two different things. But then this is another interesting thing. Can you be goth purely because you like gothic shit? Bats, roses, blood, vampires, cathedrals, medieval poetry, you know, various other stupid shit like that. Addams Family aesthetic and other vampire-y things, right? These are all things that fall within gothic. They all exist completely separately from any kind of music. And I'm not going to use the phrase the music, because as far as I'm concerned, the music is so ambiguous, it's futile to even try and assume that it has enough definition to use the word the. Okay? Can you exist purely as a gothic? Are you a gothic? Are they really a thing? They must be, right? Yeah, they must be, right? Because you elitist goths are always going on about the music and how these days not enough young people are listening to it. And I know why. Because it's shit. Not all of it. Some of my favorite albums are like post-punk and gothic rock, but also some of the worst music I've ever heard in my entire life has also come out of those genres. So maybe in the absence of there being any decent goth music or any popular goth music, perhaps the style of gothic is still appealing, but the music isn't, which is interesting to think. Maybe gothic itself is now the most influential thing style-wise, which would make a lot of sense, I think, since the music seems to have absolutely no correlation with how these kids identify at all.
In my restless dream.
It's a lot of blue! And she's also quoting the Silent Hill 2 monologue.
I see that Silent Hill.
You promised me you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Ooh. Passive-aggressive in a letter, Mary? I'd suffocate you with a pillow too. Ooh, I bet goth music is just heavy crap with screaming over it. This is another massive thing that I didn't realize people thought. Goth music isn't heavy. But then maybe there is, and I believe there is, a section of goth music, goth music, that is heavy and does have screaming. I definitely think that music like that belongs in that genre, belongs in that subculture. The amount of goths that come out of those genres of music is quite astounding. Shaking like milk. Oh, God. That song, man. Okay, do you remember how I was making that joke about like, okay, so we can all agree that The Cure, and this person, this goth, has also used The Cure. I think it actually might be the same album, I'm not entirely sure. But do you remember I was just like, yeah, okay, so whenever goths are kind of, they want to play this, they want to play it safe, they don't want to be questioned, they'll use like Friday I'm in Love by The Cure, right? That's the song. Some of the comments I got See what I mean? What's your version of it? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand? Like when you have a metalhead, you know when you hear metal. And so do they. Like you'll have your purists, your Iron Maiden fans. But then again, even modern metal fans be like, yeah, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, you know, they're metal. But I prefer the new stuff. But then you'll also get like the old heads who are just like, all that deathcore stuff, that's not metal. It is. It definitely is. That's why almost every single genre of metal has the word metal in it, which seems to be in a massive contrast to goth, which only has one, and it's called Gothic rock. Not goth rock. Gothic rock? I don't even know what point I was trying to make here. Anyway, it's just a fact that no one can agree what the music actually is, okay? And until you can make an actual definition of what these genres and what these songs by these specific bands within these specific genres actually are, I'm not going to pay attention to it. As far as I'm concerned, whatever makes kids these days, whatever keeps the goth subculture alive, whatever makes them pick up the black eyeliner and the white face paint and put on the flowy black clothing and the big stompy boots, to me, as far as I'm concerned, even if I don't even like that kind of music that they're listening to, that to me is what is now considered goth music. It's whatever makes people want to be goth. Isn't that what it was like in the fucking 80s? It wasn't called goth music. It was music that made people want to be goth. Are you getting it? Are you hearing the point? More Rammstein. It's Rammstein. I can't play it for you, but it's Rammstein. Another band that you would not assume is a goth band, right? It's just industrial. And yet, a lot of goths come out of it, don't they? You can be like, you're not actual goth. Rammstein's not really goth. Okay, cool. But if it wasn't for these bands that you don't consider to be goth, then there wouldn't be as many goths as there currently are. Oh my god, they are not swing 815s. It's the daybed for me. It's the daybed for me right there. It's the IKEA daybed that's making this entire video. Yeah, it's more Cure. And it's more Cure. All these kids are so unsure. They're so unsure. They're so afraid. Fear not, child, for I have no preconception. Take my hand. I'm shaking like milk. Shaking like milk, yeah. There's apparently lots of goth music out there, but because of the aforementioned ambiguity, no one wants to touch it. Also, a lot of it's not very good. Do you know what? And there's another video idea that I can't mention in a video. I'm actually gonna do a video. Jake, listen. Vamp rave. Good track. It's a good track, good style. I like that. There's a good song and there was a good style. I mean, we were lip syncing here. Make no mistake. Which is, you know, points deducted. Arbitrary points deducted. Who cares? Being racist is not hot. Got a Bauhaus t-shirt and rosary beads. I hate goths, man. Oh, Christ.
Service is not hot. Rehab, that's not hot.
Hating Robert Smith is not hot. Oh, I'm sorry. Are goths becoming so contrarian that they're beginning to hate their own kind? I mean, the bands do, so. Forcing veganism on people is not, I agree with that.
Jail is not hot. Hillary Duff.
Morrissey is not. Oh, God. Nothing will be funnier to me than the juxtaposition, the complete contradiction that is Morrissey. In the goth community. Again, it's like one of those quintessential. It's like Smiths, Susan the Banshees, Bauhaus, for a fourth thing. Oh, Sisters of Mercy. It's like that, right? It's kind of like what's a very safe goth band we can all agree. The Smiths. And the fact is that Morrissey is like a deplorable human being, but goths can't deny him because beggars can't be choosers. Are you familiar with the phrase?
Are you really a punk?
Punk? No way. I use way. I didn't see that.
That is very authentic looking. Because what people don't realize is that 80s goth was kind of ugly looking. It was like you'd been pushed through a lost and found box of clothes. Or the fancy dress box at drama school or something like that. I don't know. It was kind of all over the place. It was kind of like, you know, stuff that was tagged. It was the 80s, man. There was no like internet aesthetic references that you could use. It was just kind of like whatever you could find. stuff you already had, stuff you could thrift, cheap stuff. And then you kind of like made it goofy and quirky and individual and unique and different. It was all over the place. Everybody wanted to be different from each other. There was a lot of uniqueness to it, which is what I keep talking about with the early 2000s and the way that came up. All of the subcultures that existed in the early 2000s, it was new. Everyone was trying to be different from each other, which is not how it is now. This is what I keep trying to say. It's so different now. People are trying to emulate as close as they possibly can the last relevant alternative subcultures. I like it. It's one of the most authentic looking synthy poppy new wavy style of goth that happened, which I really like. Like Depeche Mode did some of that stuff, which was super fun. You know what? At this point, I'm sick of The Cure. I'm sick of it being everybody's safety net. It's becoming a poser band. Do you think Robert Smith intended for this to happen? Do you think Robert Smith was just kind of like, I'm doing something interesting and unique and strange, and all my fans are actually quite original. That's quite nice. Oh, shit. 2023 happened. Now Robert Smith has been reduced to a shield that you can use against criticism. Find new bands. Something else that's goth. There's some cool stuff out there. There's a lot of not cool stuff out there. I keep saying this because I don't want people to make the mistake that I'm saying goth music is great and that you should be listening to it, because it's not good. A lot of it is not very good, okay? It's like every other genre of music. There's a lot of it that's not great, but you need to find like your band, like your thing. For me, it's Field of the Nephilim. I love Field of Nephilim and Killing Joke. For me, those are my two big ones. I like The Cure, but for me, and Depeche Mode. I like Depeche Mode, especially Music for the Masses. That album is fantastic. I love it so much. I have it on vinyl. And I know these bands aren't like super underground or whatever. It's because I'm not trying to find a super underground band. I found something that I quite liked that wasn't The frickin' Cure. So have a look and see if you can find something. And maybe, who knows, I might help you out next week with this. Just go to a goth club. Just go to a goth club and do that. It's way less cringy. It's still cringy. There will probably be the same amount of people there, though. Oh, man. I remember when I used to go to goth clubs. They were not super popular over here in Northern Ireland. Maybe 20 people went. But because not many people went, you kind of had like a sense of community. You kind of knew everyone who went, and it was super nice. I'm sick of the Cure now. I quite liked The Cure too. God damn it. Leave it to goths to ruin something, right? Please know that goth fashion is not meant or supposed to be expensive. I mean, the price of it seems irrelevant. I think what we meant to say is it can be cheap. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't make it any less goth. Support some small businesses, DIY or thrift if you can. Do you have any examples of small businesses that we can support? Man, I gotta say the Winkle Pickers are probably like one of the better shoes out there. Like out of all the alternative fashion, I'm beginning to get very sick of Demonia boots. But Winkle Pickers, I gotta say, are very nice. They're still nice. And Creepers and Winkle Pickers, I gotta say, they're top tier alternative shoes. That's making me like, I don't know what the feeling I have is. Claustrophobia? Panic attack? Rage? Not moving your hair out of the way? Of liquid eyeliner? Oh my goodness. Oh God. Oh my. Our Lord, who art in heaven. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm gonna throw up. Bands that are and are not goth. Where are your qualifications? a PhD, a master's, some sort of award that has been given, some sort of goth humanitarian award. Who are you to make these distinctions, and what authority do you have to make declarations such as this? This is the most poser-ass post I've ever seen. Let's actually have a look through the... we got the Cure at the top. So let's have a look here. Clan of Zymox, they're pretty good, I gotta say. Depeche Mode, big fan. Let's have a look, see. Alien Sex Fiend, also good. System Mercy's not a big fan. Skeletal Family, also pretty good. Rosetta Stone, good. Joy Division, no. Killing Joke, my favorite. London After Midnight, very good. The Cramps, Echo and the Bunnymen, very good. You have this huge list of bands here. And Fields of the Nephilim are not on here. Or The Smiths, or Morrissey, or Peter Murphy's solo project stuff. It's this is the toxic side of goth, okay? This right here. This is not the worst offender, but this is like dipping your toe into how bad it can get. Bands that are/are not goth. You don't have that authority to tell anyone shit. Man, it must have been great to be a goth man in the 80s. You don't even have to know how to sing. Oh, just writhing in the gothness. See, is this goth or is this gothic? Because this is a gothic style, right? And are people who are inspired by gothic things, are you, like, again, are you a gothic? Asking for a friend. Romantic goth. Help. Help me out here. So we have someone else now who's doing... I'm not good with faces, as you can probably tell. Who's also doing a romantic goth video. And get this. It's also Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. Again. Which I'm actually happy about. I like Depeche Mode. It was real, Jorn. That was real. Let's get to the finished product. So romantic goth, what is that? I'm still not sure. Is it just like pretty dresses? How is that different from vampire goth? Or classic goth? Right, well, that's enough confusion for one day. I was Jake Monroe again today, which is pretty cool. Hope I get to be him again tomorrow. Remember guys, you can go and buy t-shirts from the website, link down below. They can be signed or unsigned, depending what you want. Also, get the signed prints as well. They will also be on there. Limited amount. Right, I'll see you guys next time. Whatever.